the campaign press secretary, is here with us to make the argument. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
So let's just tick through some of these things. I didn't understand the Puerto Rico play. I know he gets hit, he hits back. You know I don't accept that rationale, not from a president of the United States. But why, when they have a hurricane coming down on them, start going after them for being corrupt and how he's the best thing that ever happened to them? Why do that then?
Because he's fighting for the people of Puerto Rico by calling out the corrupt politicians. I think it speaks for itself when there are 375 public corruption convictions over a 10-year period. We have a hurricane coming. There were misused funds last time around. We don't want to see that happen this time around. And this president delivered the largest FEMA response effort ever in the history of FEMA to Puerto Rico. So these corrupt politicians must use these resources on the people, bottom line.
All right, look, nobody's going to argue with that. However, what they will argue with are the facts, which is, one, he didn't pass it. Congress did. He was against it. He fought it. He tried to slow walk it. And now he lies about the number, Kayleigh. He keeps coming up with this 90-plus number. You know it's nowhere near that. Why? Why not just tell the truth?
He has signed into law tens of billions of dollars of funding, and the $91 billion number comes from estimated projections of what will be provided to Puerto Rico.
But it's based on an unknown of whether you need it over like the next decade plus. It makes no sense to use that number.
You're entirely missing the point, though, that this was the largest FEMA operation in the history of this country, the longest air mission in the history of this country, the biggest disaster distribution operation in the history of this country to Puerto Rico.
Aren't you missing the point that
allocated.
It is well known that he fought people wanting to do more for them and that they are not even near to back on their feet and they're a part of this country and it's on his watch?
There has been enough done for James Lee Witt, the FEMA director of Bill Clinton, saying that this president gets an A+ on his FEMA response effort. And that's straight from Bill Clinton's FEMA director. The facts don't lie.
Who cares? You got to work for Bill Clinton and be dead wrong. There are 30,000 homes that have blue tarps on them. They have people losing power today for no good reason. Thank God Dorian wasn't anything meaningful to them. Not yet, anyway. We'll see what happens on the back end of the storm. But I just don't get it. Why does he talk about a place that's part of this country that way? Why would he talk about swapping it for Greenland? Why?
Because there are corrupt politicians there. That's who he's targeting. Notice in his tweet, he doesn't talk about the people of Puerto Rico.
Since when is corruption something that he goes after hard and heavy?
Oh, he always goes after corruption. And when we give money to Puerto Rico, tens of billions of dollars, and federal officials find stockpiles of unused materials.
Hard and heavy? He just pledged to hold the G7 at his own golf course. He's got an administration that's littered with perfidy and people who don't know how to keep their hands out of their own pockets. And he's about corruption?
I'm happy to go into corruption because we got a heck of a lot to talk about with Obama.
You mean in terms of things that are suspect corruption?
From spying on U.S. citizens within the Trump campaign. These are things that we never get to talk about on here,
Chris. You can use whatever words you want. You just don't have the facts to back it up.
Yeah,
this is a president who won't even show his taxes, Kayleigh. Are you kidding?
This is a president that constantly has things made up about him, as happened last night on MSNBC pertaining to his finances.
Listen, hey, you see the letters on the bottom of the screen? They say CNN. If I didn't say it, I don't want to talk about it. I didn't report that story. It was out there. We go with the facts. I don't need anything else. If he had nothing to hide about his money story, why doesn't he release his taxes? Why doesn't he just release proof that he's under audit?
He's under audit. He's not going to play into your hand and give you his taxes,
Play into my hands?
But literally, if we want to talk about what just happened on CNN, literally the last hour, you took words from the press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, from an entirely different interview talking about how the president often talks in jest, and then played it juxtaposed against a story about the president suggesting people should break the law and acted as if that quote pertained to that story, which it didn't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Well, it happened last hour. Take a look at it. This is what the media does. MSNBC
See the name of the show?
You took
Cuomo Primetime. You want to talk about your friend Ms. Grisham? I want to know why she says he couldn't make it to the climate meeting because he was having meetings with Germany and India when they were at the meeting. I want to know why they say they hang their case against Brian Karem on an interview, a statement they said they had from a Secret Service agent that they then said, she said, didn't exist. So if you want to talk about her, I'm fine. She should be here defending herself. And when she wants to take the invitation, she can have it.
You should be thanking Stephanie Grisham, who literally fought with reporters in North Korea, with North Korea security guards to get reporters access, who literally fought to get more reporters access than any other nation at the G7.
After they
That was
pulled
her
Brian
doing.
Karem's press pass because they didn't like him having an argument with one of their friends?
Yeah, because the president had left and he started bullying someone on those grounds.
Bullying?
And by
Did you see the
way,
video?
Yes, I did. And he was
Please.
bullying that. He was confronting a guest of the White House.
The guy got up.
Credentials were pulled.
Listen, that is not even close to a fair
That is
representation. Here's the
absolutely what
proof of it.
happened.
Here's the proof. You want to talk about bullying? How about this? Kayleigh McEnany, I can't have you on the show anymore. You know why? You're clearly
Why?
not working for me anymore. You're not
Well-
working for me anymore. I thought you worked for me. I thought you used to take care of me. When people used to ask you about me, you'd say good things. Now you're being fair? Now you're pushing back? That's what he said about Fox News. You talk about bullying.
The president's not bullying anyone. The president is lied about constantly.
On Fox
literally
News?
time and time again. He's frustrated with media coverage.
On Fox News?
He's frustrated with media coverage. He's fighting for the people in his movement. He didn't say Fox News should work for him. That's again
He
not
did.
what
He
the
said they're
tweet
not
said.
working. Put the tweet back
No,
up.
he said they're not working for us. The network as a whole is not working for his movement, meaning they can't watch
Fox isn't
because
working
they feel
for us anymore.
you are again.
They were
here we
never
go
supposed
again.
to be working
This is
for him. You didn't
more,
think they were working for you,
This
did
is
they?
more fake news. Literally in the last 24 hours, you
tweet's
took
right in front of
Stephanie
their
Grisham
faces.
out of context. You take the president
I'm
out
not
of context.
taking anybody out of
MSNBC
context.
lies about the president and our campaign manager. This is why Harvard, by the way, says 90% of the news coverage of the president is negative. Not my words, Harvard's
No, that's not what
words.
Harvard said. Harvard said 90% of the coverage is negative. They didn't say why. The why is his mouth and his actions. If he didn't lie, if he didn't take things out of
doesn't lie.
context, if he didn't demonize people for being different, if he didn't make it okay to be bigoted, then
doesn't
he would
lie.
not get the same kind of criticism.
doesn't lie.
Look at
The
this.
press
You
lies.
don't look at Fox News and call it state TV, and people aren't going to call you out for being unfair to a
He
media
doesn't lie.
organization.
Guess who lies? The press lies. And
You don't
take
think
it from
this
me.
president has
Take
ever
it-
lied?
Take it from Jim Comey, who literally
You
called
don't
out a
think
New
this
York.
president has
Let
lied to
me
the
finish,
American
Chris.
people?
No,
You
I
have
don't
to
think
answer
the
that
president
question
has
first.
lied.
He
I
has
don't
never
think the
lied to
president
the
has
American
lied.
people.
No, I don't
Kayleigh
think the
McEnany,
president
your
has
credibility
lied.
will be
I
shot
think
with my
CNN
audience if
has
you don't
lied
back
to
off
the
that
American
statement.
people. I think MSNBC has lied to the American people. I think the fake news has lied to the American
Has the
people.
president
Don't take
lied
it from
to the
me.
American people?
Chris, let me respond.
Can't
Jim
answer it. Bad
Comey
sign.
literally testified before Congress under oath that a New York Times story about Russian connections was false and in the main not true,
Mm-hmm.
and the Russia reporting was false. And for 2 years, you've talked about Russia, and now you've moved on to
Did Russia
recession.
interfere in the election?
All lies about this
Russia interfere
president.
in the election?
There was no collusion. Was there
Did
collusion,
Russia interfere
Chris?
in the election? It's a
Was
yes
there
no question.
collusion?
You're very smart. You can answer
Was
it.
there
Did they
collusion?
interfere?
Well, answer my question
Yes.
first. Was there collusion?
The answer is yes. And here's
False.
why.
According to
Collusion is a
Robert
behavior,
Mueller.
not a crime. You learned that in law school. And here's what they did. This president went out there stoking their efforts. His son took a meeting he should have never taken. It was beyond the line of stupid. And he went to that meeting
Conspiracy
with two
theories
people
here.
who knew better.
Lies
It's no
about the
conspiracy
president.
theory. They went to the meeting. It's collusive behavior. Was it a crime? No. And
There
I
was
never
no
said it was,
collusion.
and I said it was
There was
good
no
news that it
coordination.
wasn't. But they interfered, and you can't even mention it.
You
He talks
perpetuated
about
a
Vladimir
conspiracy
Putin as a guy
theory
who
for
should be
2
in the
years.
G7, and he fights with our allies about it. He stands next to him on the national, actually the world stage, and says he takes his word for it against his own intel agencies.
Chris, you continue to play up the Russia collusion conspiracy theory. You guys lied about the
I
president
never
in
mentioned any
16.
kind of collusion
He won on November
conspiracy.
8th, 2016, and he's going to win again.
I never said that he shouldn't
he's going
have won.
to win again.
I never said that his election was not what it was. He won the
moved on
election.
from
I say it
Russia
all
to
the
recession,
time. But I'm
and
going to
you
ask you
never-
this one more time. Kayleigh McEnany, do you believe this president has ever lied to the American
No.
people?
I don't believe the president has
Wow.
lied. I believe the fake news media. Do you believe
that
the
blew
fake
my
news
IFB
media
right
has
out of my
lied?
head.
Do you believe the fake news media has
Interview's
lied?
over, Kayleigh. Please,
The
if you
fake news
can't admit
media
that this
lies every
president
day
has
about
lied
this
to the
president.
American people, you will not
The
have credibility
fake
with the
news
audience.
media lies,
You
and
got
that's
a
why you've
long
lost
way to go,
credibility.
Kayleigh. Look, listen, when a president is telling the American people every day not to believe in a free press, that they're the enemy of the state, and he
gives
lies
more
about the
access
allies
to
at
you
G7
than
saying
any-
what we really
any
want to know
president
is
in
why your
history.
media hates the country, he is to blame for
He just
sowing
did
the seeds of
a
division.
40-minute press avail
And he
in
lies
90-degree weather.
all that. So what?
The president gives access, and you lie about everything he says and take him out of
I
context.
have
and the people are
never
frustrated.
lied about this president
people are
in my
frustrated.
life. You may not like what I say. That doesn't make it a lie. He lies all the time, and you know it.
Go
and
watch
if you
your
don't
last
own it,
hour,
they won't
taking
listen
Stephanie
to you as
Grisham
well.
out of context and putting one story with another
show
to
me
try
what
to
I
make
lied about,
it seem
Kayleigh.
as if the president lied and Stephanie
you
lied and it was
show me
not
lying
true.
about this president, and I'll give you a prize. You admit the truth about him, I'll give you 2 prizes. But you're still welcome on the show.
I don't
although
need
you
any
may have,
prizes
you may
from
have
the
hurt
fake
me.
news media.
You may have hurt me tonight in inviting you back, because if you can't admit that he lied, these people are never going to believe you about
I think you should take a
anything.
look in the mirror,
All right?
Chris.
I do. And I don't like these lines, but I do like that I don't lie to my audience every damn chance I get. Thank you for coming on the show. I disagree,
Thanks, Chris.
but with decency.